We are the woke. Ignore your logic and check your privilege. We will remove your biological and psychological distinctiveness. Prepare to be owned. We demand you service us. Resistance is a social construct.
In a recent video, your boy Zach asked whether the comic book industry isn't dying, but actually already dead. I think it's much worse. It's been assimilated. Far-left activists took over the industry piece by piece. Once they made it to Marvel and DC Comics, and then to positions of power within those companies, that was pretty much the end. The wild part is that just 10 years ago, the industry was a completely different place. Most of the nonsense we see today wouldn't have even gotten a second look. People understood that this is first and foremost a business, and secondly, entertainment. Happy readers buy more books. But for some reason, way too many people running these companies decided to let these progressives waltz in and inject woke nanites into everything. Instead of fighting back, they just rolled over, letting these folks turn more and more of the industry into their little plaything, while turning their fellow creators into woke drones. The result is that most of the comics produced either can't sell a large number of books, even with popular characters, or publishers largely make books no one really wants to read. For example, your boy Zach mentioned all these ads for these young adult themed DC comics. These are books that would really work better as YA novels, but were converted to comics instead, and most of them follow the same generic format. Some usually female character is de-aged to 10 or 12 years old and prances around pretending to be a superhero. And I say pretend because most of the costumes look like kitty-themed cosplay, like what a kid would wear if they were actually play acting as a hero. And all of these books, as far as I can tell, are geared towards girls. That raises 2 points. One, isn't it interesting that these people think girls don't want to read about actual superheroines, but instead about girls pretending to be superheroines? You could have the girl actually have powers or actually fight crime, and they're like, nah, I just want to pretend. And these are with the actual characters. So it's not a fictional girl pretending to be Batgirl, it's a kiddied up version of Cassandra Cain. Okay. 2, isn't it interesting that none of these people want to write anything that would remotely appeal to boys? Think about it. What books do Marvel and DC currently publish where the target audience is clearly young boys? Not all ages, not for preteens, specifically for boys. I can't think of a single one, and that's a problem because those books tend to be more popular with both sexes. Want proof? Look at manga. Most of the top-selling manga are shonen or boys comics. This is true whether the main character or cast is male or female. This is also true of most of the popular comics in the last 40 years. It makes no sense to reject boys as an audience just to get girls to read comics. You can make comics for both groups. You don't have to just pick one. But that's what the woke did. The woke are only interested in virtue signaling. They're only interested in identity politics. And every comic book publisher they assimilate falls victim to the same low-selling tropes. Every woman is a lesbian. Half the characters are inexplicably minorities. The other half are self-inserts, literal idealized versions of the woke creators. Every male character is an idiot, wimp, or villain. And all the white characters are evil. Now, every book doesn't end up like this, but enough of them do that it's a genuine problem. Especially when the woke start demanding existing, actually popular characters get replaced with these so-called diverse and inclusive knockoffs nobody actually seems to like. So the question is, what can be done? Can the industry be free from the woke collective? Maybe. If people like Sana Amanat, who's basically in charge of Marvel, were gone, maybe some of the damage could be undone. Dan DiDio was reportedly just fired from DC Comics. That could have a positive or negative impact depending on who replaces him. But you'd have to get rid of so many of the woke implants riddling the body of the industry that I'm not sure there'd be enough of the industry left to keep alive. And then there are the implants that really can't be removed. The things that really can never be undone. Like turning Captain America into a Nazi. There's no retconning that, no erasing that from history. And then there are the psychological scars left from being assimilated for so long. You're not just going to get rid of the wokeness overnight. You've got plenty of nightmares coming. And again, I don't know if any of that can be undone. But the real question is whether the industry is even worth saving. When you look at what happened over the last 10 years, especially the last 5, when someone says the industry is dying, I'm like, let them die. Has it occurred to you that we've done everything we can to get the point across that there's a problem? We've complained, we've petitioned, we've even made comics. And what was their response? Some bald asshole decided to fuck with someone's contract because he was pissy that person could actually get published. The industry turned on a publisher, bullying him to the point the man considered suicide, all because he said thank you to paying customers. When a creator mentioned there was a lack of good editors, he got piled on by his fellow pros, despite the fact that he's one of the 5 or 6 people selling more than 5,000 books a month. These people have been assimilated, and now they're assimilating everyone around them. In Star Trek, the usual thing to do when someone gets assimilated is to put them out their misery. But that's not my style. I'm going to treat you like Batman.
I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
You let these folks in. Watch them attack artists over covers and pinups and statues. Watch them applaud you one day and literally turn on you in less than 24 hours. Watch them take beloved characters and turn them into Nazis. Watch them literally unwoman dozens of female characters. Watch them insert themselves into stories, and to top it off, you hired scores of people with zero knowledge or interest in comics, gave them numerous titles, made them assistant editors, even put them in charge of the fucking company. So when it finally dawns on you that the industry is stagnating and will soon wallow its way to a slow, forgettable death, all brought on by you catering to people who literally don't buy your books, just remember,
Get what you fucking deserve!